I'm Solange DeSantis. I'm the chair of the Village of Mamaroneck Arts Council. I want to welcome you to the 16th, or Sweet 16, Annual Poetry Live here at the Emelin Theatre. Thank you. At this time, we celebrate National Poetry Month, which is April, our national poet laureates of the United States, and our young poets of our community. Poetry Live was founded 16 years ago by the Village of Mamaroneck Poet Laureates. So not only do we in the United States have poet laureates, but we right here in the Village of Mamaroneck have a poet laureate, and her name is Mary Louise Cox. And please give her a round. She is a published poet. She's published many books of poetry, and in a few minutes she's going to read one of her poems. And she has been a writer, a mentor, and a teacher. Mary Louise Cox founded this event in a profound belief of the power of the poetic imagination and how fortunate we are to have her in our village. Throughout the 16 years of Poetry Live, more than 600 young people have been mentored by their dedicated teachers to create poetry that changes the way we and they see our world. And then they have shared their vision with us. And now at this time, I'd like to ask Mary Louise Cox to read one of her poems.
I'm so glad to be here, and thank you for being here too, and also the budding poets, whoever you are in the audience. Have fun with your poetry and be original with it, and let those thoughts that sort of wash up in you and you wonder why they're there. They're probably poetry, just don't let them get away, because sometime you'll have either for an audience or for an audience of your family or for you. You'll have a nice collection of poetry that's very soothing as you get older. Okay, I love this book. Where'd it come from? Windows into my life. I probably had something to do with it. That's what happens to my imagination. Well, anyway, here's the poem. Ready? My music. What is your music? A waterfall? Summer rain? Thunder? Wolves howling? Ducks quacking on the wing? Drums, violins, flutes, cymbals? A tingshaw, a Japanese temple gong, far off whistle of a train, children singing, my love is like an arbutus, the telephone ringing, a certain voice, music of the spheres, other? My music is your heartbeat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary Louise. And I'd also like to acknowledge Mary Louise's late husband, Fred Rosenberg, who's an incredible supporter of her and of us, and this year's not with us. And thank you, Fred. We remember you. Poetry Live couldn't happen if we didn't have support. First of all, in your program, we are supported by Arcadia Floral, you see right here, dressing the stage, and we have some other flowers. They donated these beautiful flowers totally free, and Trader Joe's is a sponsor of today's Poetry Live. They gave us these fabulous bags, and they gave us a whole bunch of other things. So Arcadia Floral, Trader Joe's, sponsoring poetry. Yes, yes, yes. And we all support this too, all the taxpayers of the Village of Mamaroneck through the Village and the Village of Mamaroneck Arts Council, which everyone here supports. And right now I want to thank the co-organizer and really the main organizer of Poetry Live, Jane Dorian, who did a lot of the heavy lifting. And I want to give her a personal token of my thanks.
It's a delight because of all of you in the audience, your parents, your friends, your teachers, to see all of you today celebrating poetry, and to think that all of you are going to be up here on stage saying your original poem warms my heart, and I'm so happy to be part of this.
Thank you, Jane. We'd also like to thank Mayor Norm Rosenblum and the Board of Trustees, and especially our Board of Trustees liaison, who's right here, Leon Potok. Hello, Leon, thank you. He attends Arts Council meetings, and he is our liaison with the village and tells us when we are doing things the right way and, when we're not. Okay, so, showtime. I would like to introduce our Mistress of Ceremonies, Ms. Diane Sarna, who has been involved with Poetry Live since practically we built the stage. And she's going to also bring up a friend, because this is a very special day. I wonder if you recognize this poet. He's an old guy. Who is he?
I'm sure my students are cracking up right now because I refer to this gentleman as my second husband. My husband doesn't seem to mind since William has been dead for a while. But today is William Shakespeare's birthday, April 23rd. It is the only birthday I celebrate in the classroom. Yes, I have ordered 4 sheet cakes for tomorrow, don't worry. But for today, the least we can do is to sing happy birthday, to celebrate Poetry Live, and to celebrate William's birthday. So help me out, because this raspy voice should not be the only one being heard right now. So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear William Shakespeare. Happy birthday to you. Good job. We're not going to do the Are You One, Are You Two, because we'll just be here all day. But thank you for allowing me to do that. Wonderful. All right. And thank you to Jane and Solange for, I don't know, they've been inviting me back to do this for a few years, and I very much appreciate it. And thank you to Mary Louise Cox. You are my rock star idol. Thank you so much. She asked me when I greeted her, have the kids changed? Is their writing different? And it only took me a minute to answer. The kids are always different, but they all take this so seriously when they know that the audience is greater than their teacher. They put such passion and such sensitivity and such reflection into their writing. And so because you're always different, this is always different. So thank you for being here, and thank you to your parents too, and friends and family. So we're going to start right away with my kids. That's what I refer to them as, my students. So I would like, and this is how it's going to work for every school, so listen up, students. You're going to just file down and come up these stairs and make a line right here up on the stage, and then your teachers will call you up one by one to the microphone to read your poem. And never fear if you don't have a copy of your poem, we took care of you. All right, so all of the poems are up here. So we're going to start with Fox Lane High School. Would you please come on up on stage, right up the stairwell here. Wonderful. I don't know where the boys are this year, but I'll work at it. I'll work at it. So the first student that I will be calling up is Maddie Sleeman.
Hi, my name is Maddie Sleeman. I'll be reading my poem, The Devil That Created My Angel. Walking through a dark hallway of my grandmother's home, I look at my father in a sepia photo in a cracked picture frame. A small, frail, 10-year-old boy in a striped Speedo, ribs outlined through his skin, legs tilted inward, short hair lying flat against his little head, standing tippy-toe on the winner's podium, holding a first-place ribbon. Shoulders hunched, smile forced, he gazes at the camera, not for him, but for his father. Anything to please his father. Swimming while he wanted to read, engineering while he wanted to write, climbing the corporate ladder while he wanted to teach, smiling while he wanted to cry. Anything to please his father. His father was never happy, even when he got second place in the Junior Olympics, was never pleased, even when he graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, was never loving, even when his dog died. Men don't cry, Philip. My father is always happy. Go Pooh Bear, I always heard at my swim meets, even when I was in last place. Is always pleased, even when I come home with a C in chemistry. Is always loving. I love you, everything will be okay, he says as I wipe my tears with the sleeve of his fuzzy red sweater. Love that you never received from your father, but I know you received from me. Thank you.
I have such fun working with these kids, and now you see why. And I'm sure that her dad is wiping his eyes right now, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so I'm going to call up Sophia Soderberg.
Hi, my name is Sophia Soderberg, and I'll be reading my poem, Photo of My Grandfather in His 45th Year. I sit on the frozen wooden floor of the ancient red barn. On my lap lies an old cardboard box blanketed with dust. As I sift through the photos, I come across one of my father and his father, labeled Spring 1968. This photo portrays a person not many know well. My grandfather sits with his arm protectively around his 4-year-old son, my father. My grandfather sits with his arm protectively around his 4-year-old son, my father. My grandmother's fingers covering the lens, blurring the edges. Around them lies a library filled with knickknacks and nautical charts. His piercing blue eyes covered by the black and white film. In this photo, my grandfather's blank face hides his natural light, his true self that few get to know and love. To many, he is seen as a man with a stern figure, a man who prefers having handle over any situation, a man who is a firm father of 5, a man who has sailed from the Gulf of Maine to Hamilton, Bermuda, a man who faces every problem with an engineer's mentality. But I know that is not all he is. There is more to this man than meets the eye. What he hides behind his vacant stare is his benevolent nature, his soft spot for milk chocolate, his secret admiration for man's best friend asleep at his feet, his sixth sense for the sea, his loyalty to his family through all cycles of life, his eternal devotion to his wife, even in times when she fails to remember his name, his passion for the ceaseless cycle of reading Moby Dick. This is a man I will cherish forever.
Are you noticing a pattern of using photographs here for some beautiful poetry? And thank you, Sophia. Now I'm going to call up Alejandra Perea.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Perea, and I'll be reading Don't Fear. Dad, in that old blue room we used to live in, you sat wearing your gray hood and your blue eyes in a pallid face gave the camera a look, full of mystery, full of sadness, full of fear. Fear that I won't love you, fear that I'll forget you. But I remember you. You were the tickle hand that woke up when my tears didn't stop. You were my shield when Mom screamed at me and I feared pain. You picked me up and put me on your shoulders when I felt tired. You refused to leave when Mom told you to never come back. And you were always right next to me when I screamed, "Dad!" Don't fear, you will always stay in my blurry memories, and you will always be in my bumping heart. Even though I miss you, and you're not with me, even though I had to stay and you had to leave.
And now, Hannah Hong.
Hannah Hong, and my poem is called My Grandmother's Happy Place. She is sitting on a swaying 1956 boat, her rich yellow sundress flowing down her crossed legs, delicate feet pointed in heeled sandals. A sunbonnet hides her pale face from the sun, her gentle hands resting behind her. The sun shines brightly, but her hair is night, and her happy smile is a lit crescent moon. But her eyes have seen it all, her ears have heard it all. The solemn whispers of war nipping at her ears, rickety wheels stealing her away as she escapes beastly soldiers. Fiery smoke fleeting from a destroyed home. The cold metal of a gun compressed at her skin. A small hideaway like a bear in a cave. Now she is cautious. Her eyes dart like an eagle's. Her wings protect us all. Her wise hands show me pictures from our childhood. She tells me the things that she has heard. The solemn whispers have turned to a child's laughter. Gliding tires bring us to the sunrise. Bombs have become blissful balloons. Cold metal has become our sweet embrace, and the cave a warm room, her happy place.
Next, we have Rachel Pellis.
I'm Rachel Pellis. I'll be reading my poem, Monsters Under the Bed. The anonymous email arrived with alarming, frightening words. It was a cool morning in October, barely 9:30, but this was scarier than anything related to Halloween. Bomb. Get the students out was the first thought, before anything else. Each teacher received a phone call with a message that was not for our ears. Evacuate. We grabbed our backpacks from our cubbies and hurried from our classroom like shadows in the light. Then they called the police to search under the bed for the monster that was not there. From every doorway, lines of students filed out like ants from an anthill. Through the concrete courtyard, we were shepherded onto the field. The wet dew soaked through our shoes. There we waited, for what we did not know. Rumors grew in the crowd like fungus on a rotting tree. Perhaps there was a fire, but the alarm did not go off, debated the 10-year-olds. Maybe the aliens have arrived and are taking over our school, pondered the 7-year-olds. It did not even cross any of our minds to be scared. Most kids just worried about their picture day outfits getting dirty. Once we exhausted our conspiracies, we began to do what kids do best. We played. Hands clapped in Concentration 64. Fingers snapped in rhyme to Miss Mary Mack. The only rule was to do it quietly so that instructions could be heard. We could not fathom an attack. Hate crimes were a thing of the Holocaust. We had learned this in class. These crimes didn't exist anymore, we thought. But as cars arrived filled with frightened parents to take their children home, we learned we were incorrect. The myth was dispelled. Leaving school at 10:30 on a Monday morning was not normal. It was the beginning of a pandemic, and the virus's targets were painted on schools, synagogues, and community centers. The bullseye, a Jewish star.
Rachel is my 9th grader among all 10th graders up here, so that in itself takes some bravery, so thank you, Rachel, for that. And next, I invite up Anjali Arvin.
August 1st. My family has gone to see you, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I detect a hint of cologne on this freshly rinsed white shirt, like what you wore every day when you went to work in your busy office, where you stayed awake into the latest of hours, loving the night more than day. I am outside in the sweltering heat of India. You hold out your glasses in front of the sun. A small, bright dot appears on the newspaper, growing larger. The newspaper catches fire in seconds. I stare in awe at the orange flames engulfing the newspaper, and then at you. Your eyes light up as you watch the beautiful and destructive flames. We walk to the small candy shop in Madurai. You buy me my favorite, the famous Alpenliebe lollipop. And buy one for yourself too, even though you can't have sugar. You give me a wink as I shake my head in disapproval. I open the wrapper and taste the little red and white lollipop. The sugary sweetness of strawberry and vanilla swirl around my tongue. You sit across from me in your favorite wooden chair in the downstairs office. Your brows furrowed as you count money and write down numbers. You shake hands with many men dressed in suits, nodding your head and smiling. You were a wealthy businessman who worked hard to get there, starting from nothing. When no one wanted to buy silk anymore, you found another way to make money. You never had enough and always wanted more, but only for your family. My grandpa, the most wonderfully stubborn man I know. A trait passed down to my mother and then to me. A trait I shall cherish forever. A bittersweet trait that you took to your grave, the day the light went out, August 1st.
As you can see, poetry can really honor someone. And we have for our next student, Mayan Weiss.
Hi, I'm Mayan, and I'm going to be reading My Grandmother in Her High School Senior Picture. On a dim kitchen floor, albums in front of me, decades old. Desperately trying to understand my grandmother's past. Why is she always apologizing? Why is the ability to stand up for herself replaced with a petrified will to never disagree? On a dim kitchen floor, searching for her past self. How long ago did she start saying her famous, "I'm sorry"? For someone as beautiful as she's always apologizing. Where had her fear begun? And finally, I find a black and white photo of my grandmother. On a dim kitchen floor, I observed her bright smile and how straight her teeth used to be. Her hair was cut so short, and my grandmother never liked short hair, even when it was in style. Why is she forcing a natural smile? And why does a pearl necklace sit around her neck when pearls have never caught her eye? On a dim kitchen floor, I realize she's simply a teenage girl, wanting to fit in, changing herself to get the approval of others, and agreeing with her peers to avoid conflict, ensuring everyone will like her. On a dim kitchen floor, I realize now she's not the only one who craves approval from others. I realize now she's not the only one who lacks confidence. I realize now she's not the only one who consistently apologizes for no reason. I realize now she's not the only one who can't stand up for herself. I realize now she's not the only one who's terrified to start a new chapter in her life. I hope my approval is the only one that ever matters. I hope I gain confidence. I hope I can stop apologizing when there's no need to. I hope I can one day stand up for myself. I hope I can look forward to starting a new chapter in life. I realize now why it was so important for me to find this black and white picture.
And I believe I've covered all of my students, and I just want to thank them. I love you guys. You're awesome. And we get the elevator music now for our next school to come up, and that will be Rye Neck Middle School. And please bring your teacher and all of your kids.
Hello, my name is Jenny Thiel. I'm one of the English teachers from Rye Neck Middle School, and I love how we started off with honoring William Shakespeare and it being today his birthday. About 7 years ago, 7 years and 4 months, I gave birth to my son Hayden on December 10th, and it turns out that's Emily Dickinson's birthday, and she is one of my all-time favorite poets, so when you brought that up, it really struck a chord with me. Our first poet for today is Josh Wilmore.
Sunday mornings, inspired by Billy Collins. In the early morning, I walked with naked feet among the flowers I love. Strong dew, like tears from the eyes. Each petal had a name. Flora scribed in stone. John, Jimmy, and Joe. Branded by the air, feeling the wind all around, we're flying.
Next is Gabriel Miller.
My poem is Glass. On the star-filled night, the sand glimmered, the air sizzled. I tasted aluminum in the air. Arcs of light shot from a lone cloud. One bolt arched downward. To the beach it chose. The night slowed. Arches of lightning locked in the crystallized sand. The sand contained red heat. The night resumed. Waves continued their harsh strikes in the wind. Rain collided with scattered glass upon the wet earth.
Next, Dylan Nishelski.
Hi, I'm Dylan Nishelski, and I'll be reading my poem, Big Papa. Though it appears clumsy and colossal, graciously leaping like an underwater gymnast, its dark, leathery skin blotched by white spots, hidden in the big blue. It's an awe-inspiring idol to all land and sea dwellers. Even its prey sits wonderstruck, while it's maliciously shredded by the humongous beast. It will protect its pod with its life. Otters and seals feel the rocks shake and know they have to flee. The king of the sea goes airborne, rising until chomp. Now, with his regimen of foraging done, his appetite settled, he rests in the deep blue sea like a submarine powering down.
I love that last line. And now we have Sophia Engelin.
White, a snowstorm swirling, waiting to cry. A piece of chalk scratching the chalkboard, the symbol of surrender. Its taste is as fresh as mint. Its color is pure like a wild tulip sprouting. A swan hunting for a meal. A bony skeleton rising from the grave. A ghostly night, a bright moon. A clean bandage waiting to be used. A polar bear clinging to its mother's chest. A snowy owl diving towards a mouse. And a sweet vanilla frosting covering the cake.
I love how she dressed based on the color of her poem. Do you notice that, right? Next, Jocelyn Grecius.
A lightning bolt with spots that leaps across the grass and spots his prey. The unsuspecting victim sleeps and will never get away. This dotted blur is built to run as fast as bullets from a gun. It sprints just like a jet, it seems, as we do, only in our dreams.
Could you see the cheetah? Right? And now CJ Alemo.
Silver, brilliant, metallic, and strong like a newly forged sword.
the luster of shiny coins and other cherished treasures, a royal color, the cousin of gold, a second-place finish at the Olympic Games, reflection of the moonlight off the still Caribbean Sea, the polished platter and utensils at my mom's dining room table, the Vince Lombardi trophy and the Stanley Cup, a brand new Slinky fresh out of the box, wedding rings for the bride and groom, a shiny disco ball, paper clips, staples, and the wires in my mouth.
And now, Maddie Mitchell.
Indigo. It's the color of a parrot's feather as it falls to the ground, a gem that you find in a treasure chest. The sea after a hurricane, the rocks on the shore, the boldest color in the sky, a field of irises. Hiking through a cave with light emerging through the walls. A Japanese fireflied squid on the shore. Figs in the store window as the summer season goes by. My mother's silk dress as she comes home from dinner. The most appetizing grapes in the fruit bowl. A robin's egg as it turns dark. The color of energy as you dance around the table. Is like an iridescent feather as it falls to the ground. The color of silence, of ice and faded light.
And our anchor poem for today is by Lillian Schaub.
Maroon, a starless night in the midst of the desert, the aroma of crisp bacon on a brisk summer evening, the rough bark of the warrior oak, retired from battles of earthquakes and hurricanes, a grizzly-soaked fur after an early morning swim and snack, the child of brown and red, the brother of burgundy and rosewood, cousin of crimson, a dappled cat in a loving home, a dawn-drawn maple tree, with crunchy, crisp, and crackling leaves, broken onions that no one wanted, ready to be thrown out, or a dried paper cut, a scraped-up knee, raspberry bushes, the rich taste of fresh raisins, the color that describes full and torn, blood-soaked roses, cherries and grapes, a cold, soft texture without light, the one flower that you hesitate to pick, gorgeous bows, and the scariest house on a midnight road. It's the color that keeps you going. It's dull, but eye-catching, mysterious, but unique, and don't think for a second that it is pink.
I think I'm having a sensory overload. Those poems were unbelievable. I don't think I will, I'm smelling bacon right now. I am thinking of grapes and snowy owls, and wow, that was wonderful. So now we have with our elevator music bringing up Mamaroneck High School.
I'm Maria Fairbairn, and I'd like to introduce Alan Mitra.
The snow plummets to the ground with the tenacity of bombs being dropped, but it doesn't destroy. It creates. It creates a canvas out of the earth. It creates opportunity for new paintings in the future, especially for those who've painted wrongly in the past. But the opportunity doesn't last forever. Mother Nature will take away this gift, melting away the hopes and dreams as though it were a death row inmate. The canvas and its colors will have faded. The natural beige, dreary colors of life will come back, because the snow will have melted, and we will remember who and what the world was like before the snow.
I'm Aaron Shansky. I'm going to introduce Rebecca Donaghy.
What is normal? Is it being nice and gentle? Is it being rude and mean? Is it being ditzy but vibrant, or being coarse but clean? Is it sharing and working together? Is it fighting and splitting apart? Is it a race we have to run? If it is, then where does it start? If it's been achieved, then who was the first, or has it not been harnessed yet? Does that make it even worse? Is normal a society, a club we want to be in? If someone says they're normal, can we even believe them? Are the rules set in stone, or are they always being changed? If it's being controlled and monitored, then who is holding the reins? Is religion part of the equation? The belief that there's only one? If that's the case, then which one is it? There's thousands being born and undone. Can we safely rely on its safety, that it's not some roaring fire? Should we always be so hasty to chase after its desire? Is it the way to world peace, or the beginner of a war? If we don't know what normal is, then what are we fighting for? Is this an eternal struggle, a never-ending pain, or can we finally realize it's okay to not be the same?
Our next poet is Greta Maneker.
My poem is called On Endings. Your fat lips stretch over the perfect teeth you paid so much for, eyes sunken like stink bugs. It is the kind of body horror that I've only seen in a museum. I find it hard to discern where the disease ends and you begin, your essence stifled by flies that swarm what little flesh you've left for them. I hope your insides are rotting too, the remnants of your heart consumed by sludge. It's not as if you are cold. On the contrary, your demise is heat, blood, a glinting tiger's eye held in the left palm. You age 50 years before me, a body you broke, and as you decay, it is as if the 14 years with you at my side have suddenly disappeared. I search for you. The absence aches like a throbbing phantom limb. I realize that perhaps you have been gone for much longer. I've been left to babysit your corpse.
Our next poet is Anna Kiernan, and she's participating for the second year.
All right, this is called They're Not Real. My romance is so ugly and it leaves tornadoes in my skull. Scattered, wasted matter inside me where all wounds lie. If you can't see the cut up arm or swollen eye, they're not real. Romantic is the worst thing you could be. It conceals your body from light until you decay into nothing. Nothing except dust. It chokes you. Moments that preceded you, scattered, wasted matter. Your poetic, wretched mind neglects the empty pointlessness and snorts fragile grins. The feelings replace happenings. Pale face, dark eyes, living for something outside of you. A slow demise, dusty powder, scattered, wasted matter. I breathe a life I do not live.
I'm Alina Elmosnino, and I'd like to introduce or to announce Hannah Hay first.
Children cursing in the street, with eyes half-masked, taught to hate, ancient values shouted in their heads that others would be better off dead. And hateful children are heartbreaking, because they'll be the ones who are God-forsaken when they cradle children in their arms and sing, in voices soft but words that sting, lullabies of hating brothers and wars fought over different cultures, and raise the next generation of those who hate, those who would rather destroy than create, who don't know love is love, and God is God on earth or above, and man or woman or anyone else deserves respect for their sense of self. We watch as the world increases in strife, each time people put ancient values over human life. And generation to generation we teach, you must hate the other we preach. And across the back garden wall, their voices reach back in echoing call. In words that sound so like ours for so long, we shout that each other's lives are wrong. And our children here sitting at our feet, if they should see the other on the street, They should yell and scream till their throats are sore, for they don't know our blood is of family, not of war.
Next up, Carter Smith.
This poem's called A Cry for Help. I am on the brink of non-existence, slowly slipping back into my nocturnal nightmare that in which has devoured my only sense of hope in this limbo-like state that I've been deserted in once again. The strength and wisdom that I once had has been vanquished by the shadowy figure buried beneath my brain. So silent, but yet so harsh, preying upon my demise and feasting upon my fears, my failures, my doubts, my worries, my loneliness, my need to be noticed, to be admired, to be worth more than the horrendous labels that society has branded upon me. For I have been trapped behind this window pane of pain, aimlessly stuck in purgatory, waiting for a sign, a reason for someone to save me, but no one will, because only the deaf can hear my cries for help.
Becca Marcus.
A found poem from Henry David Thoreau's Walden. Man has no time to be. No time to be anything but a machine, but men labor under a mistake. Whether chained for life, we are made to exaggerate. But a goose is a goose still. Dress it as you will, rather than love, than money, than fame. Give me truth if it means the same. Our aims must still be the same, our means essentially the same. If there's not a new man, how can the new clothes be made to fit? We sail under false colors and will inevitably fail by it. You are unable to pay for all the dinners you have eaten, for all the coats you have worn, for all the shoes which are wearing fast. You spend borrowed or stolen time robbing your creditors of an hour, always promising to pay, tomorrow and dying today insolvent. I sometimes wonder how we can be so frivolous, talk of a divinity in man, but it is never too late to give up our prejudice. If we have love to give and we want to give, we can. What everybody echoes is mere smoke of opinion. The mass of men is quiet and sick. From the accidental discovery of luxury arose a necessity. What is called resignation is confirmed desperation. You cannot do, you cannot try, you cannot find. But humility, like darkness, reveals there is a solid bottom everywhere. Superfluous wealth can buy superfluities only. Money is not required to buy one's soul. You are the slave driver of yourself. Stop this blind obedience. We are sound asleep nearly half our time, so be awake. For to be awake is to be alive. Be alive. There is more day to dawn. The sun is but a morning star. We are deep thinkers. We are ambitious spirits. We will be alive.
I bet the Art Council knows why they should keep this going after that performance by those kids. They were unbelievable. Thank you so much. Give them another round. Talented, very talented. I feel emotionally exhausted. So now we have Hommocks Middle School. So we go from the oldest kids to our middle schoolers. Come on up, folks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amy Esterson. I am an English teacher at Hommocks Middle School, and it is my pleasure to introduce our student poets. Our first student poet today is Avani Bala.
Hi, my name is Avani, and I will be reading There Is a Difference. There is a difference between reading and experiencing. You must dive into the poem and swim through the stanzas. You must taste the words, sweet and tangy, like lemonade on a sweltering day. You must smell the aromas, inhaling the words, let them expand throughout your body. They strangle the poem, tear through with no thought. There is a difference between reading and experiencing.
Daisy Birkin.
Hi, my name is Daisy Birkin, and I will be reading I Don't Know, inspired by Gwendolyn Brooks. I don't know. I won't show. I don't care. I wouldn't dare. I just shut up. I mustn't screw up. I withhold. I can't be bold. I bite my tongue. I cannot run. I am stuck. I can't stand up. I don't know where to go.
Caitlin Carpenter.
This is a call to action. Life is a wonderful game that only the privileged get to play. We live on this earth for a purpose, to make it better, to make it alive. We live on this earth to live, to experience the highs and the lows. So we dance and we sing and we smile and laugh and play and do all the things that bring us joy, yet we still seem to be going down. This is because we all want joy and happiness and family and respect, so we continue to fight and yell and kill and scream, which eventually just brings us down. If only we had a mutual agreement that lets everyone be happy. If only the world was big enough so that everyone could have the land they wanted and the space they desired. If only the world was small enough so that everybody, and I mean everybody, could know everybody and could understand the joy and the heartbreak and the pain that everybody experiences. If only money wasn't such a big deal, so much that it somehow ruled people's minds and goals and hearts and lives, and made people willing to destroy the environment and so many future generations to come. If only money wasn't such a big deal and the millions, billions of people living in poverty could not focus so deeply on their financial situation and could instead focus on living their lives to the fullest extent, just as us humans were meant to do. This country, my friends, is flawed. This world, my friends, is flawed. The environment's being destroyed, people are rioting, countries are at war, and we continue to read this poem. No. It should be our duties as citizens of this wonderful, crazy, messed up, flawed planet Earth to fix these issues. It should be our duty as U.S. citizens to fix these issues. It should be our duty as human beings to fix these issues, as so many are counting on us. I bet you that at least once in your life, you have turned off the morning news because you found it too depressing to watch. I know I have, and I hate myself for it. The people that these news stories are about can't turn their story off. They just have to live with the fact that their friend or family member just got shot by an officer, or they got death threats based on their religion. They have to live with the fact that the country in which they call home is a war zone and that they have nowhere else to go because no other country will take them in. They have to live with the fact that their home just got swept up by the ocean, or that they had to evacuate because the air in their town was too polluted to breathe. They have to live with it. So therefore, you and I both need to learn how to keep the TV on. Not just turn the story off, but turn the situation off. Turn someone's life around. Turn several people's life around. Change the world so that everybody has an equal opportunity. Change the world so that every culture is appreciated. Every religion is appreciated. Every person is appreciated. Every animal is appreciated. Every bit of life is appreciated. Every resource is appreciated so that this world that we are so lucky to be granted with is appreciated. Now I understand I am just a 7th grader, a kid who is still learning the ways of being an adult, a kid who is still learning the ways of being a mature person, a kid who is still learning the ways of being a human being. Newsflash, I am a human being, and most of the kids that you know what I'm talking about. We know what's up. We may not know the details of what's up, but we know what's up, so don't treat us like we don't. Don't treat me like I don't know what I'm talking about. I read the newspaper, I get the alerts on my phone, and it breaks my heart. but at least I know what's to come. What I will have to fix, what my generation will have to fix when we graduate. And I hope I've already started fixing some of these problems with this poem. Slowly but surely, changing your mindset, one word at a time. Thank you.
Matthew Chapin.
Wanders. I ponder at a turning point, which tightrope to walk and or wander. I ponder over a pond of wonder. I'm at a turning point previously come across by my father. Grievances, graciousness, and perseverances cross my eye in the rupture of a second. Which path to take and to wander? I ponder. This path previously untaken serves as an awakening, crying out, begging to be taken. In a split second, my foot has gone across the pond. I stride down the path untaken. I wander, all my bones aching, my back breaking. During my wander, I ponder whether this painful, previously untaken path is worth it. When I finally arrive, the pain has subsided into a subdivision in the back of my mind. Aching feet seem to have escaped, and I have no regrets, seeing what is my reward.
Mariana Day.
Hi, I'm Mariana Day, and the title of my poem is Courage. When the blind see, when the deaf listen, when the paralyzed move, when the lost find, when the speechless speak, when the weak find strength, when the small grow, when the disappeared appear, when the fallen rise, when the dead live.
Cameron Lee.
Live and love life, inspired by Robert Frost. Immortality, a thought by many. With it, life wouldn't be worth a penny. So here now, and forever know, preserve your life, your friends, till the close. So hold on to love, live life, don't rush. Immortality can never be seen. So slow down, pull over at the bend, and go ahead, live life till the end.
Mimi Lee.
I'm Mimi Lee, and mine's called I Think You Forgot, and it's inspired by Robert Frost's Nothing Gold Can Stay. People change, and so did you. You're different now, if you only knew. Everyone's a blank canvas, and the world splashes on paint. And as years go on, who you once were is faint. It's good to change, but sometimes it's not. My old friend, who you once were, I think you forgot.
Tess Levelstadt.
Hi, my name's Tess Levelstadt, and this is a poem inspired by Mark Strand. The light is dim, the room is small, pain seeps out of my eyes as I see my life unraveling in front of me. The painted walls are cracked, the roof is leaking, drip, drop. Only 2 windows, 1 locked door, no one inside, no escape. The room holds the deepest memories, the memories of sorrow, screams, power, and life. A box, the box that holds the beginnings and the ends, the box that holds the truth, the box that contains the chains that have connected life together. The light is dim.
Michaela Lochran.
I'm Michaela Lochran, and this is called Bitter as Gin, inspired by Gwendolyn Brooks. The populars, pretty, prissy, proud, strutting through the hallways, making others jealous without a word, escaping their lustrous lips. Polite to the teachers, get straight A's in their classes. In front of adults, they're as sweet as molasses. Cruel to the students who don't fit in front of their classmates, they're as bitter as gin. Never take off their shades, conceal their cold eyes of blades. I hope to live to see the day my envy towards them fades. Fashionably flashy, trendy in style, their exteriors are gorgeous, their interiors are vile. When I'm near them, I am far from a smile, but I wish I could be one of them for a while.
Valeria Maldonado.
So my poem's name is Whistling in the Distance. I am confused. I wonder what will happen if I take a wrong turn. I hear whistling in the distance. I see a door. I want to find a way out. I am confused. I pretend I'm okay. I feel lost. I touch my heart. I worry about my life. I cry listening to his song. I am confused. I understand this is life. I say it will get better. I dream about seeing him again. I try to remember the good memories. I hope to be happy again. I am confused.
Jasmine Morales.
I am inspired by Mark Strand. I am a kind, loving girl. I wonder what the future holds for me. I hear my mother's voice of encouragement. I see the night skies. I want the best for myself. I am a kind, loving girl. I pretend that I am loved. I feel that nobody loves me. I see an ugly smile. I worry I won't do good for myself. I cry when I feel worthless. I am a kind, loving girl. I understand your thoughts. I say something you believe in. I dream my new thoughts. I try to be perfect. I hope life turns out well. I am a kind, loving girl.
Muti Mujenga.
Taste of home. I have two stanzas, and one of them is along a Kenyan road. That's part one, and part two is at home. Along a Kenyan road, we see a kiosk on the street. Corn is cracking to a beat. We queue near the fire as we eat. You can feel the crunch of the kernels down to your feet. As we rush in a hot summer race, I rush to the fruit place. Wee, hot pepper, chili, mango, I try to brace. My teeth sink in deep, pasting mango fragrance all over my face. Mama honks, beep, to get the seller's attention. He displays 3 long stems for selection. Sweet sugarcane juice drips in every direction. In our home. Gouache and doma are all about the same. Both breakfast bulbs with 2 different names. So soft, I always want to claim. I often eat a lot, which is quite a shame. Nyama choma seals the deal. It's roast goat that emphasizes the holiday feel. Smoky, salty, savory, crispy, you can't believe it's real. I never knew peas could taste so good. Well, mokimo is the best ever mashed food. Smooth and with texture. It's easy to be chewed. Baby or grandpa, teeth or no teeth. Each bite lifts your mood. Thank you.
There was no one left to lead my path, so I stumble and I fall, with no one there to pick me up except for myself. I have stopped expecting anything else. My road seems to keep going on forever. What if I simply stopped walking? Would anybody care? The night ventures on for what seems like eternity, one that I know will never end. What if I stopped trying? Would it matter if I stopped, fell onto my knees, and lay there with no hope, no purpose, no reason to go on? But as I slowly let everything go, I begin to see hope all around me. How could I have not seen it before? There was life, nature, and happiness, light and freedom all surrounding me. My thoughts, my fears had been clouding my mind. My eyes had only been seeing what I thought I was capable of seeing, of understanding, of feeling, of believing, and of what I was searching for. So listen to me when I tell you this, for I have experienced being lost on the road. Your friends, family, partners, and teachers are all there walking by your side, all simultaneously walking the same path. We all must learn to walk hand in hand. We all must learn to walk united if we are to get past this lost road together.
Raid Rahman.
Now, I'm Rye Rahman, and my poem is called Opposites Attract. I feel that it needs sort of an explanation. So, I came here in 4th grade in the middle, and I didn't know how school would be different or the same from here and my home country, Bangladesh. So, this poem is about 2 different things that I thought would happen when I was in school. Now, since it's about 2 different things, I'm going to need a volunteer to help me read this. Anyone? Please raise your hand. Anyone? Yes? No? Maybe so? Oh, there are people behind me. Oh, okay. Oh, I need someone enthusiastic. Is there anyone? Oh, you seem pretty enthusiastic. Let's go. Okay. So here we go. Okay. 3, 2, go.
I wake up, ready to ride.
I wake up, ready to cry.
I go to school, eager to learn.
I go to school, wanting to yearn.
Time to play football with my peers.
Time to sit back and show my leer.
The water's sweet.
I drink from the fountain, my mind feeling beat.
I walk to class, being surrounded by friends.
I trudge to class, wondering if and when the torment will end.
I take a seat on my desk, enjoying my character's intense quest.
I take a seat on my desk, back to reading Mr. Edgar Allan Poe's relatable texts.
I gallop to hand in my assignment, filled with glee.
I go to hand in my assignment, ready to flee.
I turn around and notice a sad foe.
I look forward, wondering if the preppy would take a blow.
Start a conversation, wanting to befriend.
He opens his mouth. I wonder how to defend.
I compliment his cool shoes.
I stare at him, looking confused.
I smile at him, knowing I have made another friend.
I smile at him, knowing I've made a good friend.
All around me.
Thank you.
There is life, nature, and happiness, light and freedom, all surrounding me. My thoughts, my fears.
I have to say, Matt and Cameron, if you want to start off my class with a poetry reading, if you want to, anytime. Anytime. Matt's nodding. He says it's on, Ms. Esterson. Next up, Veronica Rubin.
My name is Veronica Rubin, and my poem is called Firm Branches of the Evergreens.
A path unending, winding, turning, through the grassy green of the forest, the moss-filled path of the woods. The chirps of the birds and the calls of the cicadas, caught by the wind, carried on through the air. Feel the peace, because one day the sunshine will falter, the leaves will spiral down, the branches ever so bare. The sound of animals fading, the moon slowly waning, watch the frost of winter creep onto the firm branches of the evergreens.
Jarvis Savage.
Hello, my name is Jarvis Savage. This is a poem about rejection, which is a big part of life. Crushed consequences. In my mind, there was a door. Beyond it were infinite, varying outcomes. Anything could have happened. The door was set in anticipation, only unlockable by an act of true courage. The feelings about what was beyond that door were simply magnificent. Every time it recurred, the temptation to set a plan into motion strengthened. Creeping into the corners of my imagination were thoughts that had no feasibility, no matter what perspective I was looking at it from. For every time I saw her, anxiety swelled within. I attempted to gather clues, a look, a word, a tone, put them all together to build upon her vague views about me. Eventually, I became slightly confident of the mysterious matter, so I did something irrational, guided by passion, without a bit of logic. I went to the furthest extent of my bravery and reached out to her, giving up the secrecy of my feelings. That night, I was trembling in the wrath of the unknown, waiting pathetically by the phone. A ding arose. I lunged at my device with phenomenal speed and dexterity to find a text. It was from the girl I wanted to reply. It did not describe much. It was vague and avoided answering the fabled and terrifying yes or no question. Puzzled, I replied and went back to my business. My heart wanted to believe in hope, but my subconscious knew it was the end. My descent into crippling rejection began. For the next few days, life seemed slightly dull. Some of my emotions felt out of place. When I should have felt joy, I felt nothing. When I should have had pride within me, I felt nothing but an abyss. My inspiration diminished like a snowflake doomed to inevitable melting. The pillars of my self-esteem were eroding from the tides of despair. It seemed as if the negativity would run rampant and annihilate all of my resistance to the forces of dark emotions. Then, as if by some miraculous concoction of joyful feelings, I conquered my self-doubt and rejection. The world went back to its previous form. Vivid, brilliant, light. The door was gone, and once again, my mind was mine. Thank you.
Julia Zimmerman.
Hi, my name is Julia Zimmerman, and this is my poem, Wood in Its Disguise, inspired by Robert Frost's Nothing Gold Can Stay. Wood cut in the night makes the fire burn so bright. As dusk turns to day, the wood slowly burns away. Ashes left to see are the only memories, so hard to recognize, wood in its disguise.
Kira Walter.
Hi, I'm Kira Walter, and I'm reading Daydream, inspired by Billy Collins. The dozy afternoon of Monday, Wednesday blues, the silent billowing of the breeze, the feeling of security, the hazy whispers of the students echo through the classroom. The children typing away at the keyboard, expanding the knowledge in their heads in English, faster than the hushed clock in science, which had long forgotten how to tick. The numbers neat and orderly as math class 4, students with pencils etching away, murmuring the numbers quite like in social studies, all scribble down the answers to packet number 97, noses in their textbooks, determined to finish their work. And whatever the lesson had to offer, The students worked diligently, scribbling, typing, calculating, note-taking away so that they could reach their prized incentive. Yet one young soul stood apart from the crowd. In a sea of red flowers, there stood a blue, one whom had eyes fixed on the window in room N307, gazing out at the sky of endless gray. One who thought of nothing besides another world, and one who had forgotten to pay attention, quite like the sky itself, an unnatural tone of storm gray. And as the emptiness arose, one could wonder if the sky could feel the same. So then the dreamer placed a hand on the window and drifted through, now ghostly silhouette glancing back at N307. Stolen away by the wonder of the sky, flew up and stroked the cloud, just to see it turn blue and full of life, like a violet blooming under the moonlight. The dreamer travels further towards the cloud and merges into a sea. One such sea, turquoise and splendid, gurgling with life and sea creatures of all shapes and sizes. Great tortoises swim alongside basses with a colorful intermix of shrimp. Reflecting the light of the sun and igniting the reef with a silver brightness, a whale as old as the reef itself, like a wave upon the sand, emerges and spirals through the sea, all others making way and bowing in their heads until the whale is lost in the turquoise glare. Then into the gardens of London, plunging out of the tropic waters into a cabbage patch, laying in the leafy greens, gazing up at the sky, and painting pictures with the clouds. The smell of dew from last night's rain hangs in the air, and one could find themselves catching dewdrops off leaves into their mouths and letting the fresh, salty air in silently with delight. And before the dreamer could scream, the clouds pulled it out of the gardens of London and over the Atlantic Ocean, finally traveling through the bright night lights of New York City. The famous city was a jungle of rectangles and squares, diverse people and action-packed excitement, the towering skyscrapers, and one could taste the scent of a nearby barbecue. Smoky and spicy, food vendors sit up for the night. The Radio City Music Hall, glowing with pride, inviting all to see its wonders and treasures. Yet the adventure had to stop, for it was time to return. So the daydreamer sank back into room N307 to return to the typing, scribbling, calculating, note-taking emptiness of the Monday, Wednesday blues. The dreamer sighed and gazed again at the sky, surprised to find that it was now blue and dancing with life, contently went back to work and smiled. No wonder our dreams carry our hope, our good working will, and no wonder we can see more with our eyes closed than with our eyes open. So forever our dreams will guide us through life, and all who dream are to find happiness. So whoever you are and wherever you're at, dream on, dream on, dream on.
High school students, let me tell you, you're in big trouble when these kids get to the high school. They were wonderful. I'm so impressed with you all. And I do think that the blue fedora put them over the top for best dressed group.
Right, am I right? Am I right? Yeah. I mean, drums, blue fedora, they were out to just blow this place off the roof, let me tell you. Really amazing. Thank you, Hommocks Middle School. Yeah. So, we're not done. We have Westlake High School. Come on up.
Hello, my name's Chris DiPolito, and our first poet is Nicole Izzo.
Hi, I'm Nicole Izzo, and I'll be reading Lock and Load. War paint coats my face like a mudded canvas, breathing fast, moving faster. Colors bleed and blend, shapes shift, lock and load. The sun reflects off the shattered shards of glass, much like a mosaic I've seen thousands of miles away. But I've put too much on the line, lock and load. I'm swirling in a sea of green, shadows blend into the waves, ships battle the tide, lock and load. Thin air fills the lungs, feels as though I've been submerged deep underwater. Flashing back to reality, I am amongst the clouds, no time to think, lock and load. I never thought I'd find myself here. I don't know if I'll ever get to leave. But with the flag billowing in the wind, I could never forget where I came from. There is a generation amongst us with a purer vision. Learn to coexist, so never again will we have to lock and load.
Our next poet is Katie Burns.
And as the sky grows grim and bleak, the winds whisper without a sound of ancient stories left untold and countless secrets never to be learned. And lonesome though this world does seem, the dark of night does not disguise the allure of life hidden deep below its star-filled skies and worlds of light. And yet the solitude of the night still casts its somber shadow over me. And the sky, smooth as glass, fails to wake the buried beast, but danger still lurks deep within the wicked heart and immoral soul of he who rests among the stars, cursed to forever gaze upon the world he does so despise, until eternity itself dwindles down. And as I look into his eyes, his sinful soul does speak to mine, and man and beast form a bond, destined to walk this dreary road as one.
Our next poem was inspired by our class's reading of Homer's The Odyssey. This is Christopher Pagan.
Hi, I'm Chris Pagan, and my poem is called Troy's Death Wish. Boom, smash, we have just crashed, while the so-called easy raid was not worth what we got paid. Making my army feel very sorry. Many lives were lost, the mission was not worth the cost. Both our ally and foe took a humongous blow. The battle did not have to be fought if my crew gave it a thought, but we gave it our all, not wanting to be the last man to fall, fighting on unknown land, making this their last end. Bow and sword, taking more than I can afford, blood mixing with ocean, creating death's poison potion. One by one we would dissipate, leaving only more hate, making it unclear if this took a secondary year. Losing many men, but only 7 to their 10, death mustn't groan, because of how we took our own. Asking the divine not to take any other troops I call mine. Finally we dash, desperate to reach our unslashed ships to provide us with aid, needing to help our soul not made of jade. Maybe this journey won't be stormy, which would end this horrific story, leaving us all tossed and our hearts in a frost, making us breathless, fighting and surviving Troy's death wish.
Our next poet is Jennifer Hutnick.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I'll be performing writer's block. Sat down at my desk, I was told it looked like a mess. I needed to write to help clear my head. Yet no poems came to mind, and none were very fine. My words became spurious, and I lost track of time. I woke up refreshed, yet nothing profound rushed to my head. I went throughout the day, searching for ideas and interesting things to say. And when I came home to lie in bed, I remembered nothing compelling had happened to me that day. I had been struck with a case of writer's block, a serious flu that causes mind glue. My ideas no longer flowed. I searched for cures and home remedies, but none seemed to cure me and allowed me to write. I prescribed myself pen and paper, forcing myself to write anything that came to mind, and after a long struggle, I conquered my flu and wrote this poem.
Our final poet for today is Gabriella Maniscalco.
Hi, I'm Gabriella Maniscalco, and the title of my poem is Fireflies. Soaring and roaming through the summer night, reaching magnificent heights. No need to fright, these creatures give us light. Bold, brilliant, and bright, shining like candlelight. They ignite the sky like a flashlight. One by one, kids catch with delight in the gleaming moonlight. All is peaceful, all is right on this stunning summer night.
I got nervous when I heard it was based on the Odyssey, since that's a 900-page, epic poem. But luckily, that poem was not anything comparable in length. So thank you, guys. Westlake, congratulations. So I'm still obsessing about William Shakespeare. I do have a shrine in my classroom with multiple images of him. And so I thought that we should end today with another mini celebration for William's birthday. Although you gave him the best gifts of all, your poetry was unbelievable. So I just want to make sure that you hear a little bit of William as well. He's written a few things. And so you should have a little colored slip with a line or two from William. And if you would like, I hope many of you will, to put your hand up and I'll have you stand up and read the colored slip so we can hear a little bit of Will's poetry as well. So, oh yeah, I see right there. Go ahead, stand up, nice and loud, please.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of foes, and by opposing
A little Hamlet there. All right, who else would like, yeah, how about your friend right next to you? To my right, your left, and then, yes, we'll let you go too. Go ahead.
Be not afraid of great. Some are born great, some achieve greatness. Some of greatness thrust upon them.
Wow. All right, we have one person up front, yes, right there, and then I'll go back to that row. Yes, go ahead, hon.
Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster with which doth mock the meat it feeds on.
There's a lesson there. All right, we'll go to your right. Yes, you can go ahead, and then your friend. Mm-hmm. You can both stand up if you're nervous.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear. Seeing death a necessary end will come when it will come. Julius Caesar, Act 2, Scene 2.
Thank you. All right, very nice. And your friend right next to you, and then we'll go up the row in front of you.
O geese of other name, what's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other word would smell as sweet. Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2.
Thank you. All right, how about you two, right in the front of the boy who just went. Both of you can stand if you'd like.
We have the same lines.
Oh, you want to read it together? Yeah.
Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
Ooh, you did that. So, did you practice that ahead of time? That was awesome. All right, how about, yes, right up front, yes.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks, it is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2.
Nice. How about you two? Yes.
They're all pretty fine.
Oh.
When he shall die, they can cut him out with little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with him. Romeo and Juliet.
My favorite. Yeah. I have a little place in my heart for that one. Anyone else brave enough to read one? Oh, yes. Go ahead.
See how she leans that she can have in hand? Oh, that I were of blood upon that hand that I had no such.
That's a really good pickup line, you guys. Okay? It's a really good pickup line. All right. Any last? Yes, we have two in the, how about right here? Young man with the tie, and then we'll go to the girl behind you.
O beast, another name. What's in a name? That which we all call rose. By any other word, it smells sweet. Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, TV.
Thank you.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man at his time plays many parts. As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 7.
Yes, with the blue fedora.
This, above all, to think own self be true, and it must follow as the day, the night, the day. Look, thou canst not then be false to any man.
All right, so to thine own self be true is a good line for someone wearing a blue fedora. Very nice. And, oh, yes, right here.
Our revels now are ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air. The Tempest.
That's probably a nice one to wrap up on, unless there's someone who's very disappointed that they didn't get to read theirs. I'll do one last look around. All right, well, thank you for playing that with me. I appreciate your celebrating William's birthday with me. And I believe that Jane Dorian would like to come back up and have the last words today. So come on up, Jane.
So, wasn't this the most wonderful event? I'm speechless. I think, thank you, poets, each and every one of you. Every poem was a treasure, and we in the audience laughed, cried, felt every emotion possible. So thank you so much. This event couldn't be possible, really, though, without the teachers. They, your mentors, they encouraged you all, they inspired you, and they helped you love poetry even more. So we at the Arts Council have something to really thank the teachers and honor them, acknowledge their dedication and poetry and their support of Poetry Live. So what I would like to do is ask one of our council members, Bobby, we have the bags over there for the teachers. And so the first bag, I believe, is our Mistress of Ceremonies, Diane Sarna's bag. And let's hear it for Fox Lane. So now, what's in the bag, you say? Diane, come over here and we'll take a look. We'll see. So there is in the teacher's bag one of these for every poet who came up here. So you'll all get the anthology when you see your teacher at the end. Then for the teachers, we have 2 books of poetry. One is How to Eat a Poem, and the other one is quotes from the most successful poets of all time. So all of you did such a good job. There are quotes from Shakespeare in here too, and from lots of other poets. And then there is a goodie bag, because who doesn't like a goodie bag with like candy and a little notebook? So that's it for you guys. So you're welcome. And I just want to stay here, Diane. Thank Diane Sarna for the wonderful job she did. Yes, I will. It was her idea to have us celebrate Shakespeare's birthday because she told me she just loves him. She's in love with him still and sends him notes. She has a poster in her classroom just like the one that we have, and she puts little messages on it. And her kids typed up all of those quotes that you all have or that you recited. So she was responsible for getting all those together for us, and we were delighted to have it. So thank you so much, Diane. Okay, let's bring up the next, let's hear it for Rye Neck Middle School and Jenny Thiel. Woo! Okay, thank you so much, Jenny, for being such a loyal supporter. The next, Mamaroneck High School. Let's hear it for you guys. Okay, and there are 3 teachers who are going to come up. So Aaron Chansky, Maria Fairbairn, and Elena Elmozino. Thank you for supporting our poets. And after that, we have, actually, let's hear it for Hommocks. Hommocks! Woo! Okay. Wow. And we have Amy Esterson. Would you come up, please? Thank you, Amy. Westlake, where are you? Westlake, let's hear it for Westlake. And Chris DiPolito, thank you, Chris. I also want to thank all of the parents and friends and relatives who came to support these poets. Let's give all of them a hand, our audience. Woo! We have just a few more things to do to honor people. And so I'm going to ask Bobby if you would bring up, and Diane, you have to come back, bring one of those bouquets, because we think that it's just a nice thing for somebody to take home. And so, Bobby, would you, Diane, for your being such a great mistress of ceremonies, this for you.
Thank you. Mwah. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, our next bouquet is going to go to our poet laureate, Mary Louise Cox. So Bobby, would you give that to Mary Louise, and please take it home with you and enjoy. Okay, thank you, Mary Louise. And where is Janet Matthews? Janet, are you still here? Oh, could you come up, please? Janet Matthews has been a dedicated, loyal supporter of Poetry Live for more than 10 years. She retired last year, and she passed the torch on to Chris DiPolito. She has always done her best to make sure this event worked out perfectly. And so I want to honor her with a bouquet that she can take home. And I feel so warm toward her.
Thank you. This is one of my favorite events. I just love hearing the students. Thank you.
I know. Oh, it was the most wonderful. So I thank all of you. I just want to also thank the other people, like the village trustees who give us our budget. So the Arts Council is part of the village, and so just like Leon is representing the village, we thank them for giving us the budget to put on a show like this. The Emelin Theatre staff, I want to thank them, the house manager, all the guys who are here, and LMC-TV. Now, LMC-TV, camera people, thank you. And they are going to broadcast this at some point. So if you have Cablevision, it'll be on 76, and Verizon, I think, channel 35, and we'll let your teachers know when that will be aired, so you can see yourselves again and enjoy this all over. So that's it. And I want to thank again the members of the council who worked tirelessly to do everything to make this event the wonderful thing that it is. So without much more ado, is the show over? What do you think? Okay, enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you all.